Well, the Department of Public Service and Administration has revealed that there are nearly 300 public servants who are moonlighting as municipal councillors. According to the Act, the workers should have resigned from public service upon being elected as full-time councillors. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by Salomon Hoogenraad-Vermaak, Head of the Public Administration Ethics, Integrity and Disciplinary Technical Assistance Unit at the Department of Public Service and Administration. Salomon, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us this morning. Perhaps if you could just take us through some of the possible irregularities that have been flagged.
Good morning. Yes, we found that with the assistance of the parcel system that there's around 281 public service employees currently that's serving as councillors across the country. Now, in terms of Section 36(1) of the Public Service Act, a public service employee can stand as a candidate for elections, but then the person must either resign immediately if the outcome is in his favor and the person wants to be a full-time councillor. But if the person wants to be a part-time councillor, then the person can apply for other remunerative work to stand then as a councillor, but in a part-time fashion. Now, the irregularities will come in if these 281 employees are full-time members, but we are sure that they should have followed the process when they became appointed as part-time councillors, that they have followed Section 36 and therefore terminated their employment if they were appointed in full-time, but if they part-time, that they would have applied for other remunerative work.
The assumption that I'm making here, Salomon, is that a number of these municipal councillors took up these positions after last year's local government elections and have been in these positions for several months now. Why has it taken so long to flag these possible irregularities?
I don't think it is an issue of flagging irregularities. It was just flagged that there is this 251 members. Remember last year, September, around this same time, the DPSA had, as part of Public Service Month, a drive to talk about municipal elections. And in that time, we have spoken to the ethics officers and warned them that if you have people that want to stand as councillors, they need to apply for other remunerative work if they are now interested in becoming part-time councillors. So it was a preemptive measure to talk to them and tell them that they need to flag this in the different departments and then ask the people who want to be then part-time employees to then apply for other remunerative work. Because in terms of Section 30, you can only apply for other remunerative work before you get the work. So those councillors should have applied. And now as a preemptive measure, we're working with DCOC to see that those 281 that we now identified really went through the other remunerative work process so that they followed the letter of the law and did not just continue, like you say, because they were previously appointed as councillors and now continue with that. So this is the measure that we have introduced to make sure that when the councillors are now part-time, that they follow that process.
Now, the report itself, Salomon, says that these municipal councillors have also been employed under national departments as well as provincial departments. How long do you suspect it will take for you to sort of comb through all of these individuals and to find out if they have indeed complied with the requisite legal prescripts that you've just listed for us?
Yeah. No, it's correct, like you say, that they've been appointed under the national and provincial departments. 30 of them is in the national departments and 251 in provincial departments. So now it will be up to each department with a guidance now, of course, with the identified employee to go and see whether that person did get permission to do other remunerative work from the HOD and then report back to DCOC, who is responsible for managing the municipal sphere, and then they will report to the TAU unit where we will then make sure that those members who have permission to do other remunerative work then continue for the next or up to 12 months, as that is the period that you get permission to do that. And those who did not get permission, there's clear outline in terms of the law that should happen to them.
And what is that clear legal prescript as to what should happen to them in the event we discover that they didn't comply with the necessary processes?
Yes, in terms of Regulation 15 of the Public Service Regulations, if the application was not processed through the departmental structure properly, then the person's service must be terminated in terms of Section 36(4) of the Public Service Act. And then in terms of Section 31 of the Public Service Act, the employee have to pay back that remuneration that the person received during that period. And then also one can even add misconduct charges to those persons who did not get permission and who are currently then full-time public service employees, which would be illegal.
I mean, notwithstanding the department's efforts, truly, to try and preempt this kind of event from happening, it is possible that it has happened as departments sort of carry through their investigations. I think the question on the minds of a lot of people is, how often does this happen? How many times have we seen situations like these where we have municipal councillors who don't necessarily register their other remunerative work and find themselves employed in other national and public departments?
I think it's a very good question, because previously, according to my knowledge, there has never been an attempt to really look at this. But now, because of the structure, the Public Administration, Ethics, Integrity, Disciplinary Technical Assistance Unit, there is this possibility to monitor on this and then to coordinate the information and to actually see that the regulation gets implemented, because that is the task of this unit, to do monitoring on the implementation of this. So maybe from a DCOC level, there were attempts previously to assess this, but from a DPSA level, there has never been an attempt to do that.
All right. Well, Salomon, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us this morning. That's Salomon Hoogenraad-Vermaak, who is from the Department of Public Service and Administration.